Have you ever wondered where the Cinderella story really came from? Forget the glass slippers and the pumpkin carriage for a moment. The tale you know and love has a much older, more fascinating origin story. One that takes us all the way back to ancient Egypt. Over 2,000 years ago, this is the story of Rhodopis, the original Cinderella. Our story begins not with a wicked stepmother, but with a beautiful young girl named Rhodopis, who was born in Greece. Sadly, she was captured by pirates and sold as a slave in Egypt. Her life was hard. The other servant girls, with their darker skin and Egyptian features, often mocked her for her fair complexion and rosy cheeks. They called her names and made her do the most difficult chores, hoping the harsh sun would mar her delicate skin. But Rhodopis found solace in nature. She loved to dance by the reeds of the Nile. Her feet barely touching the ground, she would sing to the animals, and they seemed to understand her gentle spirit. Her master, an old and kind Greek man who lived in the city of Naucratis, was often away on business and didn't see the cruelty she faced. However, he did notice her sadness and her worn-out shoes. One day, to lift her spirits, he gifted her a pair of beautiful slippers. They weren't made of glass, but of fine red leather, gilded with gold. They were the most exquisite slippers she had ever seen, perfectly crafted to fit her small feet. Rhodopis treasured them. She wore them when she danced, and they made her feel like a princess, even if just for a moment. One sunny afternoon, as Rhodopis was washing clothes by the river, she took off her precious slippers to keep them dry. Suddenly, a great falcon, a symbol of the god Horus, swooped down from the sky. In a flash, it snatched one of her gold and red slippers and soared away, high into the air. Rhodopis was heartbroken. Her one beautiful possession was gone. But this was no ordinary falcon. It flew all the way to the city of Memphis, where the pharaoh, whose name was Amasis, was holding court in his grand open-air palace. The falcon circled above him and then dropped the single, delicate slipper right into his lap. The pharaoh was mystified. The slipper was so small, so elegant, so unlike anything he had ever seen. He knew at once that the owner of this slipper must be a truly special woman. The pharaoh became obsessed. He declared that he would marry the woman to whom this slipper belonged. He sent messengers across his entire kingdom, from the dusty shores of the Nile to the far reaches of the desert. They carried the slipper to every town and village, ordering every maiden to try it on. They searched for weeks, then months. Tall women, short women, rich and poor, everyone tried, but the slipper fit none of them. Finally, the messengers arrived at the house where Rhodopis lived. The other servant girls, eager and excited, pushed and shoved, each trying to force their foot into the tiny slipper. Of course, it was no use. Just as the messengers were about to leave, Rhodopis shyly emerged from the shadows. Seeing the slipper, her heart leaped with hope. One of the messengers noticed her and, almost as an afterthought, asked her to try it on. The servant girls laughed, but Rhodopis quietly sat down. She slipped her foot into the golden red slipper, and it fit perfectly, as if it were made just for her. Then, to everyone's astonishment, she reached into the folds of her tunic and pulled out the matching slipper. The messengers were overjoyed. They had found their queen. Rhodopis was brought before the pharaoh Amasis. He was captivated not just by her beauty, but by her gentle grace and kind eyes. He saw the goodness in her heart and knew he had found his soulmate. He made her his queen, and they ruled Egypt together, loved and respected by all their people. And so, the slave girl from a foreign land, with nothing but a kind heart and a pair of golden red slippers, became the queen of Egypt. So, the next time you hear the story of Cinderella, Remember Rhodopus. Remember the falcon, the golden red slippers, and the ancient land of Egypt. It's a powerful reminder that tales of hope, kindness, and destiny have been with us for thousands of years. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey back in time, don't forget to like and subscribe for more hidden histories.